to our harbor. Now the ship of doom, that was simply a supply ship from Havana, Cuba. That ship, it drifted into our harbor back in 1821, and it just sat there for 4 days. No one got on. No one got on. So the townspeople become suspicious. They board the vessel to see what is going on. What they find, truly horrific. Every single sailor, captain included, all dead. Their bodies covered in black slime and vomit. Flies and mosquitoes everywhere. Pungent, wretched stench of death just lingering in the air. So the townspeople don't know what to do. Finally, someone says, well, let's make the best of it. Let's take the remaining supplies, bring them here into town. Big mistake. Fatal mistake. Those supplies have more of those mosquitoes. Those mosquitoes carry the dreaded yellow jack, also known as yellow fever. Yellow fever struck St. Augustine so bad back in the 1820s that, well, if you look right over here, now that cemetery there, that one's called the Huguenot. Whenever you gaze into the Huguenot cemetery, just keep this thought in mind. 80% of those graves go 25 bodies deep. That's how bad yellow fever struck this town back in the 1820s. And one of the people caught up in that epidemic was the city gatekeeper. And they say that to this day, the local legend is his daughter Elizabeth, who also died from yellow fever. They say she still haunts her favorite spot in the city, the place where she took her last breath, those city gates. So while you're here in the ancient city, if you happen to walk through those gates and you get a little shiver up your spine,
We're not there yet.
a little chill through your bones, well, what you want to do is just say, hello, Elizabeth, and then just keep moving, which is what we're going to do. Ted's going to try to move us through this intersection here. We're about to be dropped off at the Telemato Cemetery. Now it's at this point in the tour. This is where we encourage everyone, please get your phones and cameras ready. Our hope is that you can photographically capture at least some of the things we speak of. Things like orbs, those would be the bright white balls of light that just seem to appear in your picture. Also, streaming energy goes, those would be the streaks of blue and white light that just seem to happen to be there in your photo. But ultimately, you're looking for an apparition, and the best way to describe an apparition is to say, yeah, those are pretty much like the ghosts you see in the movies. Fully formed human, yet somehow they're transparent. The Telemato's famous for two of those. We're going to tell you all about them and the history of this place. And then we're going into that building over there, the old drugstore. I'm going to shed some clothing, because it's hot like crazy, isn't it? This is like really, really not the right night for this costume. All right, but yeah, so quick notes, folks. First about photography and permission. You don't need permission. At any point during the tour, if you feel the inclination to take a video or a photo, do so. And if you're taking still photos, you want to do that in fast sequences of 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Because what you're trying to capture, it's moving pretty quickly. And also, if you have the ability to use a flash, use that flash, whether we're inside or out, use that flash, it behooves the picture. And then lastly, this is just one functionary note. They don't allow us to bring any food or beverages into the drugstore, so if you guys have sodas and snacks and whatnot, leave it here on the trolley. We'll just get it when we come back, all right? Let's go find out about the Telemato. Now, the Telemato Cemetery. This cemetery was established back in the 1600s by the local Native Americans. This was the burial ground throughout the entirety of the 1600s. Then, now, moments ago on the trolley, I made reference to how the Telemato, this cemetery, is famous for 2 apparitions. Let's discuss the first one. The first one is a child, a little boy. Little boy, most likely, probably about yay big. We always like to picture that youngster dressed in old-time clothing. You know, some of those old commuter shorts, tattered t-shirts, suspenders. And then we asked everyone to picture that child playing and climbing in that tree, the one in the front of the graveyard there by the gate where all the people are. Now the reason we asked everyone to picture that child in that tree is because over the years, hundreds, well at this point probably thousands of people have sworn to have seen this boy playing and climbing in that tree. As soon as you say that, however, someone will dispute it. Now the irony is, what they dispute It's not what you would think they would do, which would be the existence of said child. What they dispute is usually where it is they claim to have seen the child. The conversation usually goes something like this: oh, no. He wasn't in the tree. No, when we saw him, he was running back and forth along the side of the graveyard here. A couple years ago, before we built this platform, we used to have this part of the conversation right over here in the corner of the parking lot. One day we're getting ready to go into the drugstore there, and as we start to depart, the kids up front, they start this little murmur amongst themselves, right? So naturally, the parents ask them, what's wrong, what's going on? These kids, they all think the same thing, which is, we think we saw him. We think we saw him back there, back by the mausoleum. Now, I don't know if those children did actually see him or not, because when I turned and looked, I didn't see him. But I always remembered that day. And I remembered it because they say that it's children who usually spot him first. And they say that it's children who usually spot him the most often. Now, over the years, we have all come to call this child by the name of James. Usually we do that because in the very front of the graveyard, up in the front of the graveyard, by that gate, where all those people were gathered earlier, and probably what they were looking at is this thing I'm talking about. A very small tomb. And when I say small, that big. And on that little white tombstone, that child was only 5 years and 10 days old. To this day, there is no one who can tell you for sure what it was that actually took his life. Now, the prevailing story is, most people think he was climbing that tree. He was climbing that tree on a dare in his friend. They think he got too far up. He fell. He broke his neck. But as soon as you say that, someone will dispute that too, and they will say to you, no, that's not what happened at all. That little boy got caught up in the remnants of the yellow fever epidemic. Whatever the case may be, whenever someone new in town says, don't think I'm crazy, but I could swear there was a little boy in that graveyard. Almost everyone in St. Augustine, they'll just reply with, oh yeah, that must be our friend James. Now, James, he's not the only apparition that the Telemata is known for. While you're staying here in the ancient city, when someone says this one to you, they say, the ghost bride. Okay, once again, you'll know that they're talking about a legend that was born here in the Telemata. Because back in the 1930s, there were a couple of local high school boys who absolutely and categorically did not believe one single word about what they heard about the Telemata. None of the rumors, the superstitions, the myths, called it all a bunch of malarkey. But they decided to come to just like you, if you will. There is nothing going on in that silly graveyard. For to do so, they got themselves a tent. One dark night, they take their tent, they pitch it right smack dab in the center of the graveyard, with the intention of spending the entire night sleeping, camping, right here in the graveyard. They took the boat, and then they actually did all right for themselves. So they got about 3/4 of the way through the night, no problem whatsoever. And then, and at first I couldn't even bother them, because they both thought the same thing. Well, you know who that is, right? I mean, that's some of our buddies from school. We open the tent, we'll shoo them away, we'll finish out the night. They opened that tent, what they saw shocked them. According to these boys, they saw an old woman, as they said, had long gray hair that completely covered her face. It went all the way down to her stomach, and she was just hovering there, floating with no feet whatsoever. Well, I mean, they get a look at that. Yeah, they go running up the front of the graveyard back into the center of town. That night, and every single night after that night, they told everyone they knew and everyone they met about what happened to it that night in the Telemata. One evening, they got a group of people gathered around. They're telling their story. They're trying to actually share the experience. As they're speaking, this old man steps forward from the back of the crowd, and he says to them, I know who it was you saw him. This man, he goes on to explain about how this couple, how they buried their daughter in the rain. See, apparently, This young woman died early to her wedding. She died of a faint heart. She never got a chance to actually participate in her own wedding or to honor this ceremony that she couldn't be a part of. Her family, they decide, it's bury her in her wedding gown. Now visually I mean, with those boys, Bob with long gray hair, I'm guessing that's probably just a veil. And that's for her floating with no feet. We all know the train of a wedding dress. That's going to come to the bottom of the day one. So, while you're here in the ancient city, if you do spend any of your individual time in this specific neighborhood, if you're over there at one of the popular watering holes or one of the famous restaurants, if you suddenly, out of nowhere, see a veiled figure, just whoosh, right by. All right, I'm guessing it's one of two things. It's either A, or B, the ghost ride. Now at this point, we're going to go into that building over there. That's the old drugstore. We're going to tell you how that drugstore, it does actually share a history with this Kalamata Cemetery.